Hi guys, Mark from Generation Y. Just thought we'd do a quick one, quick off the cuff. Today we're interviewing an extra small person who goes to an education establishment in the UK. It's kind of a middle of the road high school. Hello, small person.
Hello, big person.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good stuff. So you started at high school a few months ago. Well, I guess 10 months ago now.
Yes.
How old are you?
12.
What nationality are you?
English.
And
British.
okay, good stuff. You just spent 6 years at a primary school.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Normal. Just going through every day with just doing lessons and then having break time where we run around playing tag most of the time.
Cool. Happy?
Yeah.
Good stuff. And then, so pretty big change coming to high school.
Yeah.
Older kids.
Yeah.
Slightly different topics at school.
Yes, there is.
Okay. So, you've told me before that you've seen quite a big difference between the two schools in like lessons and length of lessons, but also in the way that the teachers are and that the other pupils are.
Yeah.
So tell me about that, if you can.
In what way?
Well, in this, we've talked about social activism
Yeah.
and the way that it's fairly pushed on kids.
Yeah. In primary school, we just usually just do or normal lessons like English and maths and science and stuff. But in this school, we have normal lessons, but they're sometimes going off topic. For example, like in English, they're doing like LGBT and BLM stuff.
Okay.
And then in PD, which stands for Personal Development, which is the same as like PSHE, we would usually just do like a different topic every lesson. And then we did like months of a lesson every fortnight. We did like months of LGBT stuff. And yes, they say they're just trying to like spread awareness and stop bullying, but there wasn't any bullying, and it's just made people all go like LGBT when I think it's just a fashion, and they don't actually feel that way. I think it's just a fashion.
Okay. And so you say it's made them go that way?
Yeah.
Do you mean that before you were unaware of many people that were LGBT identifying, and now there are a few more?
There's loads more now. Like, I think there's more LGBT girls than there is just like non non-LGBT girls.
Wow. And the boys?
The boys, I don't think there's as many as the girls. I definitely say that.
And what figure would you say? Like 10%? 20%?
I'd say with girls there's like 70%.
Jesus.
With boys there's like 10 or 20%.
Okay. Oh, okay. And what are they like? I mean, you were saying that there was very little bullying, if any, before.
Yeah.
Is there any more bullying now?
Yeah, since they've tried to tell people to stop bullying, which there wasn't any. Now there is bullying because people are just fed up with teachers constantly talking about it.
Okay.
So now there's just people insulting them.
Would you say most people feel like that? Like most people feel like they're fed up of the whole thing?
Yeah, most people that are like non-LGBT.
Okay. And how do you feel, and how have you ever felt towards someone that is gay or lesbian?
I used to just feel normal. Like, I have a few friends who are like gay couples and lesbian couples, as adults obviously. But
yeah.
But like I never thought anything of it. But now, since everyone's just like constantly talking about it and stuff, you just think more for some reason. You just think more of it. And you shouldn't really.
Yeah, that's fair. And you talked about BLM and that sort of thing before. Like, how do you feel? We live in an area where, you know, there is not. Well, I suppose there is a reasonable amount of diversity actually, even out here, because we're kind of in the boonies. Well, I'm not, but he was born and grew up in the boonies. It means like the middle of nowhere sort of thing, or the country or a town. So tell me how you feel about race, or how you've ever felt about race. Has there ever been a big issue for you?
No, there was never an issue. I just thought there's people of different colour everywhere and different amounts of colour they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought anything of it or anything like bad about them.
Mm-hmm.
But now everyone's constantly talking about it and like racism and race and stuff. You just for some reason you think more of them when you see them, when you know you shouldn't, but you just do because everyone's constantly talking about it.
Mm. But your best friend for a long period of time, and still a good friend, is mixed race, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it would have been a better thing if they had mostly avoided the topic, at least for 11-year-olds? Or do you think maybe they should have pushed it back to like a 14-year-old? Or maybe they should have brought it in earlier when you were like 6 or 7?
What do you mean?
Well, just the topic of race and BLM and this is how you should be LGBTQ and...
I think we should just think for ourselves instead of them like pushing it on us.
Good lad.
I think when we're older we should then see stuff and think of it for ourselves. But when we're younger, I don't think we should just like fully ignore it because otherwise we'll look at the news.
Mm-hmm.
And if we look at the news, then sometimes they have their own opinion, which is different to others, and then we can't think for ourselves. So
good point.
I think we just have to think for ourselves and actually look at it properly.
Good point. Okay, and give me a couple of examples of where the teachers have done things that you think is... Well, I should ask you this first. Do you think the teachers are honestly trying to create more kind of visibility to it? Or do you think that they're just trying to change the way people... Do you think they're just trying to change the way that children think by getting in there at 11?
Yeah, I think they're just... They say they're spreading awareness for stuff, but I think it's just more that they're actually pushing thoughts and influencing thoughts on, like, us, because if nobody's ever told us anything else, then we're going to believe that, really.
Yeah, fair point. And do they talk too much about politics?
Sadly, yes. Well, not politics, but, like, a lot of, like, BLM, racism and LGBT stuff, and sometimes... And they used to say that they like Jeremy Corbyn and stuff.
Probably not uncommon for teachers.
They basically said that, and they always used to make fun out of like Donald Trump and sometimes Boris Johnson. But I just think they should stay out of politics in school.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, and how many... I've heard you speak before about how a lot of kids, and I know you said earlier on that a lot of kids say that they're bi and this and that.
Yeah.
But I've heard you talk about poly something and pangender and...
Pansexual and stuff.
Thank you for correcting me. Yeah, what is that all about? And do you guys fully understand all of these different things?
I think they look up meanings. Like, I think some people said they were bi and stuff at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the teacher starts saying loads of stuff about different genders and sexualities, they then change to pansexual, because there's like no difference. I don't see why you need a difference, but apparently bi is where you're either looking for a boy or looking for a girl, but you like both. And pansexual is just you're not looking for anyone, but like you'll go towards someone, and it's just like there's like no difference really.
Yeah. It seems a little bit confusing to me, but maybe that's just because I'm old.
I think we should just have straight, lesbian, gay and bi. I don't really see the point in all of these other IA213s and
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically that is all there. Technically, I suppose that is all that there is.
Yeah, they just make tiny little different rules.
Seems like that. Okay. And who are the sort of more popular and less popular groups nowadays in school, like that you think?
Well, there's like an area where all the popular people hang out. They're not really LGBT, but the ones who used to be popular and then turned LGBT, there was a group of them, and then there's also a group of like LGBT geeky kids. But the sort of popular ones, they all split up. So now there's like 4 different groups, and all they do is, well, some of them are actually nice.
Good stuff.
But say that they're bi.
Mhm.
But also don't mean it. Some of them do kind of mean it, but probably won't stay like that. And then some of them are just like those ones who try to be sassy and are just mean for no reason.
Interesting. Okay. And how, like, do you think that it will carry on that way through school, or do you think it's a sort of thing where they've just come to a school where now they're they're at the sort of bottom of the hierarchy, because you guys were the oldest people at the junior school.
Yeah.
At the primary school. Now you guys are the little people. Do you think it's kind of just their way of trying to fit in and trying to kind of find a place in school?
Well, I clearly see that it's a fashion to, like, they try to fit in and be cool, and it's like fashion. But I have heard that it's like that in old year groups as well. So I think it's either just a phase that will last like a few years, or it'll go on through school, and then when they actually have to live for themselves, they'll realise that there's no point, like, just arguing about all this stuff when they have their own bills to pay and more things to like do.
Fair point. Yeah, fair point. And in the past, you have also told me stories about things that happen in the playground.
Yeah.
Tell us that story, if you would.
Well, there is one where I went over to the other playground with 2 of my friends, and there was a massive circle of people on their knees with like doing the BLM sign, and there was just like a half-caste person in the middle, and one of my friends.
A mixed race.
Yeah, mixed race in the middle, and one of my friends went in and joined in and was like, "Come on!" And we were like, "Yes, we know that you're trying to be cool and fit in, but this has a very different meaning." So we walked away, and it just made me think, what have those or any of their ancestors actually ever done that's racist towards anyone? Like, why would they need to feel the need to do that?
Maybe they have. Maybe those kids have done something in their past and they're now repenting for it.
Yeah, maybe like 60 people.
Never know.
Who all hang around with each other.
And how did the lad in the middle of that circle, were they all chanting one of, like, one of us?
They were chanting his name and then being
like... Wow, really? That sounds kind of cool. I might do that next time. How did he feel about it?
At first it looked a bit awkward, but then he had a big smile on his face and looked like he was like in power.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what it looked like.
Do you think, obviously you've had friends of various creeds and colours before. Do you think any of them really care about all this, or do you think they just kind of look at it as like, eh?
I think some of them don't care, but then when the teachers started constantly talking about it and saying it was so bad, they then was like, "Oh yeah, it's so bad, yeah." But before they didn't think anything of it. They never had anything bad or anything. But now they're just going along with the teachers, really.
Because they tend to be quite popular kids around here.
Yeah, it's only like 2 of them are, and then there's like 2 that I know who are just like under the radar with their friends, really.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that very brief off the cuff. We'll have you back for some fascinating school ground stories. Before you go, come up. I know you're very small. Tell me the story about Girl M and the name change, because I found that incredibly entertaining.
The name change?
Yes.
Okay, so there's this girl in my school. She decided to be transsexual, and she changed her name to Wilbur, which is nothing like literally nothing similar to her original name. And then she decided, like a few weeks later, that she's gonna change it back and she's going to be a girl again. And she was like, I've been going through some hard times and everything. The funniest part was nobody even knew that she ever did that apart from her friends until she'd said that she's now going back. And it just made everyone laugh because like nobody ever called her anything different and nobody cared. But yeah.
Interesting choice. Yeah, good stuff. Well, thank you, Microhuman.
Okay,
and
big human. I'll be as tall as you soon.
Maybe. And yeah, good choice of t-shirt colour.
Thanks.
And
yeah.
we will see you very soon, possibly. Thanks for joining us for this possibly interesting off the cuff, and we will see you again another time.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I didn't press record.
You're lying.
I am.
Because I saw you press record.